Hello everyone, I hope you are doing fine. I don't know how many times I've started this video and had to start it over. I was doing it at home, but I don't know, when I flipped the camera, because I needed to show you this, I would hit the delete button. I guess I can't multi-function because it is 6:30 in the morning, and I think the people driving by are probably wondering why I'm talking to my phone. But then I just thought, coming to school a whole lot easier, a lot less headache, and it's kind of nice because no other teacher is here, so I can get some stuff done. But anyways, we will continue with budgeting on Monday. I feel I need to be there for that because it gets a little more challenging now, because we're thinking of a budget for businesses and we're going to try to estimate, and that can get kind of challenging. And I'll show you some tricks that I use when I have this kids, because for example, it's hard to budget for a welding business or a honey business when you don't know. So, but at the same time, learning how to do a budget will be beneficial for you, because a lot of you will be entering the real world soon, and mom and dad will eventually say, you know what, you're on your own. If you want some extra money, get a job. So keep that in mind, is so you're gonna learn to do, because you're gonna be more focusing in your real world on a personal budget, but you never know when you decide to jump over into that career side. So schooling is done, what a budget would look like for you. I think that's sometimes the biggest problem that younger people have, is because their spending is bigger than their income. So, and I think a lot of people still do that. Even when I visit with older people, they don't understand that they can't spend money they don't have. And that's another whole topic of debate, is spending your money and making money. Because you got a lot of people my age who think it's unfair that some people can have nice things and they don't. Well, it's because each job pays differently. So you gotta live, like I tell people, you gotta live within your means. You gotta budget that so that you can have the nice things. People with low income jobs can have nice things. They just have to maybe save a little bit longer than people who have a higher paying job. But at the same time, I always look at it, people who have nicer homes will pay more in taxes, because that's how that works, okay? Your property tax is based off the value of your home. So the bigger your home, the nicer your home, the more you pay in property taxes. So that's one thing that people sometimes forget. You gotta have two homes sitting next to each other, but one's twice as big. That person's paying more in property taxes. So they're gonna have to budget more for taxes. All right, but I think for today, since I'm gone, and the whoever the sub is, I've been told two different people, not quite sure if it's gonna be Mrs. Booker or it's gonna be Mr. Held, either or. They can probably help you, because this is math. So keep that in mind. Boy, I have to stand back here because I don't have my tripod very tall. Otherwise, if I stand up here, you'll be seeing like the scary parts of me. Guys, I'm 49 years old and still getting a pimple. Boom. Anyways, back to the story here. But anyways, we've played this before. Many of you have. I know Brody has, Samantha has, Eric has, Haley has. Not quite sure if Emily has. I don't think she's ever been in a class that I do it in. And of course, Peyton, first time you have a class with me, so you won't have taken it. But I play it twice a year, once in the fall, once in the spring. I just pick classes that I want to play it. So it varies. And so what it is my version of a farm game. Excuse me here. So it's my version of a farm game. It's basically math and agriculture. So you have to start out. So you got to start out your farm figuring out your net worth. Your net worth is how much your farm is valued at. Okay, that's important in farming, especially if you're going to go get like maybe a loan at the bank. They're going to want to know what your net worth is so that they know that they can loan you that money and that you can pay it back. So they want to know what assets you have on your farm. So your net worth is very important to that. So we'll go from there. So how does today's activity work? All right, you got to have a calculator out. So make sure you have a calculator. I would do this in pencil just because a lot of scratching out gets confusing. And this will also be your note sheet through the game. I don't create an extra, you have another sheet, but that's for another day. But this here is important and it needs to stay clean. So the way it works is that everyone has the farm. All right. So you have all this right here on your farm. So you have 45 acres. I give you the value of 1 acre. Do the math. So the math here would be 4,500 times 2,852. That's going to give me a value. You just write it right there. Go all the way down. Okay? All right. You got 200 head of black Angus cows with calves. Well, that's pairs. So you have 200 pairs. So 1 pair is worth 3,200. You know, what value do you have there? All right. So when it comes to some of this other stuff, kids often get wrong. So you have 10 grain bins. Okay. The bin structure itself is worth $18,000. You have 10 of them, so you're going to take 10 times 18,000. That goes here. But now here's the thing. Your bins are full of grain. So if you add these numbers up here, that equals 10. So those 10 bins, you have 2 bins of wheat, 2 of barley, 2 of corn, 2 of soybeans, 1 canola, and 1 pea. All right, so what you need to do next then is take, so if you have 2 wheat bins, and each bin is 14,000 bushels, so you're going to take 14,000 times 2 times the value. That's what you're going to get right there. So keep that in mind when doing that. Sometimes kids just do 2 times this. Trust me, your wheat in that bin is worth more than $16. So keep that in mind. If you're just getting $16, $12, just think. Those of you that don't understand, you know, markets, $16 for 14,000 bushels is no. So these should be in the thousands, hundreds of thousands. So remember, 14 times 2 gets here. 14 times 1 times this gets here. All right. So a few other things that you have on your farm. You have your equipment and your buildings. Basically, a lot of times what you're doing is just transferring the number. This just is the size of your bin. It doesn't matter. Your shed is worth $86,000. Just write it right there. Okay. Just remember though, you have 2 of these MT 600 tractors. So there. All right. So then when you are done, what you need to do then is add this all up to get your net worth. Remember, your loan needs to be subtracted off. So you're going to add all of this up, including your farm checking account, minus your loan should be here. You should be in the millions of dollars. Like, I'm going to give you a hint. It's more than 10 million, but it's less than 20 million. So that's all I'm going to give you for a hint. Everyone should have the same number because everyone has the same farm. So go ahead and check with each other so that you have the correct number. Okay. This is graded, so keep that in mind. So 7th hour, I encourage you to get this done on Friday. You have sometimes a tendency to chit chat, but chit chat and work. Okay. If you have no questions, of course I'm not here. I won't be able to answer them. But I want this done by Monday so we can roll the dice for the first time. So, all right. Bye.